Well, it's just another day. Got a small update with the Scout. Done a little bit more. Let's see what we've done so far. Hung the door and the fender to line the body up. Got the rocker panel in. Got the floor patch done. My door shuts. It shut a little bit better than that, probably. Wedge and cab mounts in. Had some trouble aligning the door. It was just way out of whack. Thought I squared up the body good enough, but apparently it was pretty sagged in the middle. Watched a YouTube video from Scout Co, I think, who gave some tips on shimming the body. Unfortunately, what I had to do is I had to shim the back end about 3/4 or 3/8 of an inch or so, maybe even a half inch. That kind of pulled it all together. Basically, it was bowed like this. So the truck was going bowed like that. So I pulled a measurement from here to here on both sides, and it's squared up now. Because the problem I was having is you're supposed to start with this body line, get it squared up. Well, my door was too low, and the gap was a lot bigger here than down here. So essentially I brought the rear end up to close that gap, but quite the struggle, actually. Knowing what I know now, I should have probably checked all that a little bit better. And this gap always looks bigger. You actually go off this gap. So maybe one mistake I possibly made is when I put the rocker in and I had it jacked up. I jacked it up a little bit too high. So I'm about a 1/16 off maybe. But I think I'm going to get it. Next thing I've been struggling with is my patch panel. It's got kind of a bow to it, and I can't pull it together very well. I'm really struggling with that. So what I think I'm gonna opt to do is I'm gonna buy this panel, take the top off. Gotta take it off anyways for paint, and this window frame needs to be sanded eventually. It is like so thick. I sanded some of the flaky stuff off, and there's a bump, and I mean it's like half credit card thickness. It needs windshield. So I'm gonna take the top off, buy that panel, then I can weld it to that. Hanging the quarter is no problem, it lined right up, but I'm having trouble getting that seam perfect without a bunch of Bondo. And then I found here, when I put a straight edge from here to over, right along here is a big dip in it. Didn't notice that before, and there's Bondo in there. So I just opted, I'm gonna buy this panel, and then I can weld the two together, slap it on. That's the plan. My wheel lip did fine. All that's good. I replaced that half of that top rail. That's all good. Everything so far is good, so now I'm just gonna wait on parts. I'm gonna refocus. Sometimes you gotta step away. Oh, I worked on my door hinge pins. That's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Basically what I did is I bought grade 8 shouldered bolts, cleaned up the holes, stuck them down in there. I tried the hinge repair kit, or I was going to, and I just opted for the grade 8 bolts. One of the pins were just welded, well, rusted welded in there, and boy, it was quite the work to get those out. I mean, I basically worked almost a whole day just doing the hinge pins, putting the door back on. It was ridiculous. So I'm going to refocus my efforts as I'm waiting for parts. Probably going to do some grinding, start prepping for my reverse shackle and the spring over and stuff. That stuff I'm more familiar with. This body work is a little brain boggling. But anyways, there you go. That's my update, and we'll chat later.